Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 101, and I am pumped that you're here today because today we have joining us on the show, Sharon Brinks, who is awesome, shares a ton of great information from building laundromats to how she runs them, to how she builds her teams, to how she does marketing. I mean, so much good stuff in this episode. You're going to love Sharon. If you don't know her yet, you're going to get to know her and get a lot out of this interview. I know I did. Tons of great stuff. Real quick, before we jump into it with Sharon, I wanted to share today's Fastlane tip. Fastlane tip is how you can utilize Laundromat Resource to get on the fast lane to success, whatever that looks like for you. Leaving your 9 to 5, creating side income, cash flow, whatever that looks like. Fastlane tip is this: go ask a question, answer a question over on the forums. So much good interaction happening over there. A lot of you guys going to introduce yourself in the new member introduction forums. We've got the Laundromat forums. There's the repair forums. If you got questions on repair, there's the commercial real estate. There's places to go, people to meet over on the forums. And along those lines, I just wanted to take a quick second to welcome to the team James, who is the new community liaison who you might see over there on the forums, browsing around, asking questions, answering questions over on the forums along with you guys, along with all of us. So welcome, James. Super excited to have you on board. Do me a favor, head over to laundromatresource.com/forums and go say hi to James for me. Also, the link to the forums and everything else on this podcast episode, you can find on the show notes page at laundromatresource.com/show101. All right, let's jump into it with Sharon Brinks. Sharon, thank you for coming on the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking me, Jordan. This is awesome.
Oh, man. Well, it's so fun because I didn't know you not that long ago, but we met in person at the Laundromat Millionaire Conference, which was a lot of fun. You were on a panel over there. And right. I was like, oh, man, she is spouting off gold. We've got to get her on the podcast. So here you are.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you asked me. Yeah, I was on that with Luke Williford and Brian Wallace of the CLA. So, yeah, that was a blast. That was a lot of fun in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Well, that's good company to be on the stage with right there. A couple superstars, both former podcast guests. So we had to get you on here so that you could join the ranks. So
heck yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, I know a little bit about you, but why don't you give everybody else a little bit of a background of who you are, and then I want to get into how you got into the laundromat business because I'm always curious how we always get into this weird little business.
Nobody growing up says, "Hey, I want to own a laundromat." I get it. Grew up, born and raised in Southwest Missouri. In the Ozarks. So I got a little bit of a twang. I try to tone that down a little bit sometimes. But so went to college at what was then Southwest Missouri State University. It's now Missouri State University. Majored in computer information systems. So I did computer stuff for 25 years in the corporate world. I was a programming systems analyst, business analyst, systems design, you name it. Then I got faced with a corporate layoff in 2011, and because a couple of companies merged, so they laid some of us off. And I had already had some rental properties, so by that time I was a single mom, had 2 little kids. Decided to go ahead and get my real estate license. Mm-hmm. So I just made the jump to being self-employed. I'd always wanted to work for myself. I mean, I gotten to the point where I didn't enjoy the computer stuff anymore. I love programming. Back when I started in 1985, long time ago, companies hired you to write specific code for that company. There wasn't a package off the shelf that you could buy and then just install. So you would write specific code for that company. And I love that. I love meeting with the customers, your users, your end users, defining what their problems were. And then you go back and solve their problems. You write the reports, you write the programs and the routines to make that stuff happen. Well, then by the end of my IT career, a lot of companies had just off the shelf software, and companies would buy it, and you try to keep it as vanilla as possible. So then you're limited to basically being, cat herding. You're just the one that gets all the calls for the software doesn't work. This sucks. It needs to be fixed. And all you can do is just relay that on to the vendor and coordinate. You're just coordinating patches and stuff. I'm like, I don't like that. I get all the grumpiness, but I don't get to fix anything. So, and by that time I'd moved to Wichita, Kansas. So I was like, I want to change careers. So I already had the rentals, wanted to be self-employed, got my real estate license, had my real estate license for about 3 years. And then 2014, I bought my first laundromat, and it was a little rundown, dumpy thing, about 30 minutes from Wichita. Put new equipment, mostly new equipment, fixed it up, painted, tried to make it as nice as possible. It was semi-attended. Then after some serious employee theft, we became unattended, opened 24/7. So I've had partially attended, I've had unattended, and open 24 hours and not. So kind of runs the gamut there. So then I was also seeing this guy that I was dating. I wasn't sure if anything was going to come of that. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and just buy this laundromat and just do it myself. I'm not mechanical. I don't fix stuff. I have to hire somebody to come in and fix stuff. I relied on that a lot, but I did understand business and marketing. And so I relied on that background quite a bit. So that's how I got into my first laundromat.
Well, I mean, you kind of said you bought a little laundromat here. Like, how did that idea pop into your mind? Did it come through the real estate, or how did that happen?
Yeah. So it was in the same little town where I'd had my last job, and the one that I gotten laid off from. And then I was also part of that brokerage in that town. Mm-hmm. So I was in that town fairly often, even though I didn't live in that town. And the last time it had been for sale was 5 years prior. I was like, laundromat, that'd be kind of neat, passive income. Ha ha ha. That's a joke. If you don't have a laundromat, that is a joke. So then I saw it for sale again. I was like, okay, now I'm in a position where I could, 5 years prior, I wasn't in a position where I could do that either, financially or, supportiveness or anything. So, I was like, I'm going to go for it this time. So I just went for it. Got a SBA loan. I think it's a 7A is the one that I wound up getting on that. Just sold myself to the bank. Hey, I can do this. Here's why. Yeah, I know I'm sick, but here's why. And I'm self-employed as a realtor, and but I can do this. So, but yeah, that's how I wound up buying that one.
Can I ask you real quick about that? Because I get asked about the SBA loans all the time. I mean, how difficult was it to get? Did that laundromat have good financials
It actually did keep some financials, enough to support it. And then I had a good enough business plan to show, okay, here's how I'm going to increase revenue. Mm-hmm. It took a long time. I don't know so much hard if you're working with a good bank that can walk you through the process. It's in their best interest to loan you money if you're a good candidate for it, because they're going to make money off of you. But it does take a while. It takes a long time. We'll go forward. That's the only SBA loan I've had. So
yeah. Did they dig into the financials of the laundromat very much? Is that?
I gave them everything that I had on it. That I was able. I bought the real estate and the assets. So completely separate. Real estate's on this, bill of sale for the assets separately. And the sellers, unfortunately, sadly, they were getting a divorce. So that's why, no one ever sells a profitable business. Well, life happens. Mm-hmm. So they had, I don't know if they had 3 or 5 years or whatever they had from QuickBooks and from their accountant. I was able to give that to the bank and show how I was going to increase that with newer equipment that actually ran.
Did you have a distributor that helped you out with that part of the business plan wise, or did you write it?
I didn't even know any distributors around. So nope, did it myself. And with this guy I was dating who I actually wound up marrying. So but yeah, he helped me a little bit too. He's pretty awesome.
Okay. All right. We're not going to give him too much credit though.
Yeah, I'd give him more credit.
Well, I'm not going to give him too much. So
okay.
I'll tell him at the clean show. I'm
there you go.
Most of the credit. So, yeah, okay. Awesome. I get asked about that all the time. And
yeah,
so I always like to, when I hear somebody who's used one, try to get a little bit of the detail. I mean, any tips that you pulled from that experience for anybody trying to get an SBA loan?
If I'm trying to get an SBA loan, have all your ducks in order. Try to, like I guess the one that's most well known is the Dave Ramsey, try to have the least amount of debt as possible. Have your credit score is in line. Have a source of income, but know that try to read as much as you can about the business, know the business. So then you can write a business plan that sounds legit and that hopefully is legit. And you can show them how you can increase your revenue. Here's where it is right now. Here's where I plan to take it in 5 years. Here's how SBA and bank, here's how you're not going to lose any money with me. In fact, you're going to make money with me. I'm not going to be something you have to write off. So,
yeah. So, I mean, how did you know how to write a business plan?
Read a lot of books, I think Steve probably had a template. Steve's been doing, it's my husband.
Uh-huh. Who we're not giving any credit to.
We're not giving any credit to, but I probably read something or another, or maybe let him have a little bit of input into what should you say, what shouldn't you say? But at that point, he was living out of town. I think he was working in St. Louis at the time, and I was in Wichita or in the Wichita area. So, it's kind of mainly me. Yeah.
Yeah. That was nice of you to let him feel like he's contributing, and you know what I mean? That was really nice.
He contributes more than you think. He really does. And he's very private. He likes to stay in the background, and he doesn't want any credit for anything. He'll just that's Sharon's business. People, I'm sure people are going to come up and ask him about, well, how's the laundromat? I said, I don't know. That's her business. I don't know. I'm just the engineer on the project. Leave me alone.
Yeah. That's awesome. It sounds like a good 1-2 punch partnership there. I like that.
So far, so good. Yeah. It seems to be working. He's a structural engineer. So he's the engineer on the projects and when we do stuff. And then I'm the real estate broker, and I have a brokerage and, do the business end of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So this is in 2014.
So this is 2014.
Okay.
When I bought, the dumpy little laundromat. Let's see. So I finally talked him into marrying me in 2015. A little bit of work, but got there. Not everybody will put up with me. I'm a little bit of a type A. He's a little bit of a type A, and we will butt heads, but it's okay. Comes out fine.
It's that whole iron sharpens iron thing.
It does. It does.
You got to have that perspective.
It really does.
Yeah.
And we bounce a lot of great ideas off each other. So got married 2015, moved actually to Wichita proper instead of another little town outside of Wichita. And by this time, that laundromat's unattended. I really had the bug for the business and loved it. So we decided, hey, let's build a new one in Wichita. There has been a new one in Wichita for a few years. I surveyed every one of them in town, equipment mix pricing. We're the laundromat tourists, just like every laundromat owner. Once you got to go and you're driving through a little town, it's like, oh, there's a laundromat. Let me look at it. So, I've seen a lot of them around, but been in almost all of them here in town, at least the bigger ones. And we decided there was a big need. We identified where we could put it. I found some land, just absolutely. There had been some houses on it that had been scraped. Apparently there's a tornado that had went through into late 90s. Highway had been through. So now that was more commercial land instead of residential. Mm-hmm. So picked the location, pretty much right smack in the middle of town, right by the major east-west artery, which is Kellogg Highway, Highway 400. And we bought that May of 17, end of May of 17. And then the very next week was Clean Show in Las Vegas. So we had this land, we got a contractor. We know we want to put in Speed Queen equipment because that's what I had at the other laundromat. And that's what I was familiar with. I already had a relationship with that distributor. So we went to Clean Show in Las Vegas. And I knew nobody in town had credit cards. Nobody could take credit cards either directly on the machines or pay at the register or anything. I mean, it's all quarters or dollar coins, mainly quarters everywhere. It's like, wow, we're like 20 years behind the times. What the heck? So we went to Clean Show in Vegas, and I'm not giving plugs, but I guess I kind of am. I'm just telling you how everything happened. Alliance Laundry Systems was doing a little seminar on here's what our vision of technology for the future is for our company. We got signed up for it. Our distributor's like, yeah, you should go to this, but it's by invitation only. So we signed up for it and we went, and I was like, I was in the market for credit card readers. So I know there's the two major players. There are still major players now. I was like, I don't like either one of them really for my purposes. It's not really what I'm looking for, but that's, I'm going to have to pick one. So, okay, fine. So we go to this little meeting, and Scott Chiavetta, who's the Chief Information Officer at the time for Alliance Laundry Systems, was doing the presentation on what came to be Speed Queen's Insights system. Mm-hmm. And they were going to have the SAP payment system, and they're eventually going to develop a POS system. But all the controls behind the scenes for the machines, you start the machines, you can stop the machines, you can rapid advance, you can check your finances, okay, how much money has come in per machine, turns per day, and everything that should have been in place 20 years ago, and that everybody since then has in their equipment. I swear I must have been drooling. And Steve and I are on the front row because, we're old and we can't see very well and we don't hear very well. So we're on the front row and we're furiously taking notes and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me, and I said, I want it. I want it all. So we kept poor Scott for about 20, 30 minutes after that presentation and just pelted him with questions. And I said, hey, we just bought some land. We're going to build a brand new state-of-the-art laundromat ground up. I have a 25-year IT background. I've got a degree in IT. You're going to need a beta tester. Please, 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 please. Can I be the beta tester? And so we kept in touch over the next year. And we were the first laundromat in the United States to open with Speed Queen's Insights and the app payment system. So we have actually the value centers that they have now. They have payment centers in the new ones, but you can get either one. But we had the very first value center, didn't even have a label on it or anything. It was just an ugly gray box in the wall. So we got to be what I call the crash test dummies for that system. So that's the precursor for now. They have the touch screens. Hips even has touch screens, which I don't think Hips was supposed to have touch screens. That's what we were told, but now Hips has touch screens, whatever. But this software was the foundation and the precursor for all the touchscreen stuff. So if you have touchscreens out there, you're welcome.
All right. Look at that. Yeah. We're giving you credit, and Steve's none of the credit for that also.
Steve gets the credit because he had to listen to me whine and complain when things weren't going right. But and it's pretty sweet. It's pretty smooth now. But and then also shout out to Adam Dill, who was the director of IT at the time. He put up with my constant texting and Adam, this isn't working right. Adam, what's wrong here? Adam. It's just weekend. I didn't care what time it was. I didn't care what day it was. I was constantly pelting him with texts. Yeah. And he got it done. But so we built that. We opened April 12th of 2018. And doing well. People always ask, I bet this makes a lot of money. And people always ask you about your financials, and
right, yeah.
Like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. But well, I also have a lot of bills. hey, my water bill is about like this. And then, your customers look at you and go, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. And I say, yeah, but the employees keep showing up. So I guess their paychecks aren't bouncing. So, still looking for other locations. We've been looking for other locations pretty hard for the last 2 years. We have different areas in town that we like. Trying to find the right real estate, either to buy or to lease, is the challenge. We put LOIs all over town, haven't quite come to an agreement on anything yet, but we're still looking to expand. I'd like to do maybe 4 or 5 more, something like that. But
awesome.
So our current laundromat, probably one of your other questions is going to be, so what do you do? So we're coin. We are hybrid. We're coin. You can do Speed Queen app. We are fully attended, and you can actually pay at the counter for your equipment. So pay your way, coins app, or at the counter, either with cash or credit, debit. And then we can start the machines for you using Insights. You got to have employees you trust, because they're going to be handling cash and starting machines for you. But yeah, we're rocking and rolling. I got a kick butt staff, really good staff. So
that's awesome. Well, I want to ask you about that in a second.
Yeah. Drop off laundry. We do drop off laundry, and I started pick up and delivery April 1st of 2020. So we run the gamut, and then we partner with a dry cleaner in town also. So we can even take dry cleaning. We're full service. So
you just gave me a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So
bring it. Okay. Where do you want to start?
Quick question. Do you still own your first small one?
Good question. So we got this one built about 3 years ago, I think. We'd been working.
You're at 40 years now, aren't you?
Yeah, but we had both of them.
Oh, okay.
About a 1 year period. And I was like, okay, the money's in Wichita.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I know.
The money's in Wichita. It doesn't make sense. The new laundromat's this direction. That laundromat's 30 minutes that direction.
Yeah.
I'm pulling this many quarters only.
Yeah.
Change machine vandalism, I
wasn't worth the headache.
God basically told me, Sharon, just close it down. So I sold all the equipment to Midwest Laundries.
Okay.
Jim Schultz there. And then we sold the building, finally got the building sold last year. So he's just using, the guy bought it's just using it for storage. So it's like, that's fine. So no longer have to mess with that one. I'm just focusing where we're at now. So I only have one store.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to be the Williford someday. Now we're not.
Don't we all want to be the Willifords, huh?
Oh my God. 485 stores and no.
Yeah, that was probably when we started the interview. They're probably up to 488 now.
I think they are.
Yeah, since in the 20 minutes we've been talking or whatever.
Heck yeah. And then Ross Dodds,
I know.
Every time I turn around, he's added 5 more mats.
Well, and we're just launching our fundraise for Diligence Capital Investments. So we're looking to add a whole bunch that way too. So his tally might creep up there.
So I just have one, but it's not even small but mighty. It's large but mighty, and I'm looking for more though.
Cool. Okay, let's go back to that first one just for a second. I just want to ask a couple questions about that.
Yep.
Okay, so you said it was kind of a little bit run down, smaller. You put new equipment in there. When you purchased it, was it profitable when you purchased it?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was profitable. It had older equipment. So there was a bank. Remember the old Sissel dryers? There was a bank of 3 stack Sissels. One of them worked.
Okay. Yeah.
1 pocket out of 6.
Okay. 1 pocket. 1
pocket. Yeah. A whole bunch of top loaders, some of which worked, some were out of order.
Yeah.
Got rid of those. They had some other Speed Queen equipment. It was like a hodgepodge. She had bought, the gal who was selling it had bought a few newer Horizons, which are evil.
Man, I really don't like the Horizons.
I will forever, that rubber gasket. The stuff that accumulates under there just is indescribable.
Yeah, I don't even like peeking in there.
Hideous.
Yeah.
And some other Speed Queen dryers, some worked, some didn't. But yeah, it was still profitable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you bought that one and you ran it. You said you bought it in 2014. 14.
Bought it in January 15th of 2014.
And then you sold it somewhere around 19,
I sold it. I think I sold the equipment off in 2019.
19. Yeah.
It has been in the fall. I think it was in the fall of 2019.
Okay.
So about 5 years on that one.
Yeah. And then, I mean, when you retooled it, did you see an uptick in business?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. If you got old equipment, retool, just do it.
Yeah.
You will not, you won't regret it. Yes, you're going to have a loan on it. Unless you're fortunate enough to be able to pay cash. I had a loan. But the headaches of stuff not working, stuff breaking. And then again, the service people who work on those are 30 minutes away here in Wichita, trying to get them scheduled to go out there to work on anything. I can do basic stuff, clean out the drain, the drain valves and stuff, but I'm not replacing anything. I can replace the rollers on the dryers. That's pretty much the limit of what I'm willing to do. I've been to service school. I went to Alliance Service School in Ripon. So I've got all the electrical diagrams and everything. I'm like, hey, that's nice. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's nice. I will not use it.
I will break more things than I will fix.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good to hear. Cause I mean, I think a lot of people are a little bit nervous to retool sometimes because it's a big investment, right? And especially like lately, I mean, equipment prices have been going up and interest rates are going up on those loans and just getting more and more expensive to retool. And so I think people are nervous to do it, but to hear that it was worth it for you is
you got to figure out your finances. If you've got like all the money in the world in the bank, just pay cash. You're going to save on the interest, but most of us have to leverage. So, if you're financing and your payment's going to be this much, how much revenue do you feel like you're going to need to make to cover that and make it worthwhile? Right. But also keep in mind how much time and aggravation are you having to spend on the downtime and the customer perception. That is huge. What does the customer see when they walk in? Are they seeing out of order signs? Which I hate seeing out of order on anything. I mean, number one, I don't like to have anything down, but I hate just seeing out of order. Well, yeah, that's nice. So we actually have a little laminated tags in our new store. It says on vacation with a smiley face.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
At least it's better. It puts a little bit of a positive spin on it. And then, we get it fixed as soon as we possibly can.
As soon as you get that mechanic to come down there.
Yeah. Well, they're a lot closer now. They're only they're about 3 miles away. So, yeah. But getting parts now is the biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I've got a couple machines that I just waiting on parts for still. And
we have 200-pound washers. I love the big boys. I love them. One of them's down because the inverter went out. Thankfully, it's still under warranty.
Oh, that's nice. If you get the part. Yeah.
But I got to get the part in.
Yeah. So curious, why shut it down and not try to sell it?
So when you are looking to sell a laundromat, word to the wise, have somebody sign a non-compete and an NDA if you give them the financials. I did try to sell it.
Okay.
A gentleman, gave all the information, well known in town, knew he was financially able to buy it. Trying to be delicate here.
Yeah. He took the information and went his own way with it is what I'm gathering.
3 blocks away.
Yeah.
My same Speed Queen distributor also was a Continental distributor. And he put in a brand new Continental Express laundry 3 blocks away.
Oh, I don't like to hear that. I was
stupid enough. I was like, I could have sworn I had him sign that non-compete and NDA before I gave him the financials, and I did not. So I'm doing the best I can, trying to get that thing going. And then I had the perfect storm. I had, the water main broke about a block away. That affected my store. It didn't affect his. That on a Sunday. So I was down on a Sunday. Then they just they decided to tear up the street in front of me. So they had to enter from the back instead of from the front to the parking lot. That was torn up for like 3 months or so. Then when they put in a new water line, that then broke my water line coming into the building. So I had to have a trencher come in, dig up that line, replace it. And then Christmas time, the coup de grace was my changer is bolted to the wall. You have to get in back behind it to do anything. It was a front load. Mm-hmm. Was broken into. Took all the bills. Okay, fine. Got it repaired, back online 2 weeks later, same guy. I got it on video, but it's wintertime. He's got his coveralls and everything's all dark and everything. Goes in there. He's a big burly guy. Goes in there, breaks in back behind it, unbolts it, and then carries it. Now I'm telling you, this is a big.
Yeah, those are heavy. It's like a safe.
It's on a big metal base. It's huge. Mm-hmm. We're talking 200 pounds easy. Gets it in the bear grip and carries it outside and just steals my changer. I was like, okay, I get it, God. Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
Message received.
Message received. The money is not there. It's in Wichita.
When it's not there, the big burly guy has it.
The big burly guy has it now. I hope he enjoyed that. Gave all the video to police, and of course, nothing ever happened.
Yeah, they never do anything.
It did not pay. Every laundromat, every town, everything is different. So that particular scenario, I think there's 2 laundromats left now in that town. None of them, they're not attended. It doesn't pay to be attended. There's not enough off laundry in that town really to make it worthwhile to be attended. I've got some camera systems that doesn't stop anybody. So anyway,
well,
if you're attended, then you gotta worry about that kind of stuff. We've had people try to drill out the coin boxes to get the few little coins that are in there, and they obviously, they don't get them out. They just mess up your coin box. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I learned an invaluable amount of stuff from that laundromat. Just incredible how much that was my training ground. So even though I probably wound up losing on the sale of the building. Oh, undisclosed to me also was that it had been a dry cleaning site.
Oh, no.
Yeah. When I bought the place. Now, wouldn't you think SBA would have uncovered that in their phase 1? They didn't.
So you get hit with environmental stuff?
And I didn't have to do anything. I got accepted into the dry cleaners cleanup program. Mm-hmm. So that's the safeguard for the person who bought the building is, hey, you're grandfathered into this. You just, right. So, but yeah, everybody in town knew it had been a dry cleaners except for me up until 1974. It had been a laundromat since 61. And so the word around town was, oh, it's contaminated. The place is contaminated. Well, so yeah. I learned a lot in that years. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Well, it sounds similar to, in some ways to some of my hard lessons that I learned on my first one too.
Yeah.
And they end up being very expensive. But I think that, obviously great lessons for you. I appreciate you sharing that. Cause it's hard to talk about when stuff like that happens. It's hard to put that stuff out there, but I think everybody benefits from hearing you say, hey, the people that you're sharing financials with, maybe even the people that you're working with can do you dirty. Like that happened to me. It happened to you. Right. And so trying to think through, what do I need to do? And how do I cover myself? How do I protect myself? Having them sign non-disclosures, having them sign non-competes before they have any access to how your business is doing. And that's
I trusted too much,
Me too. And that's the kind of thing that you don't know. There's nobody would have any expectation that you would have known that. Until you learn that lesson. Right. And so I think that's why it's really important if you're thinking about buying a laundromat, your first laundromat or whatever, find somebody, talk to Sharon, talk to me, talk to, somebody in the business who can share the expensive lessons with you so that you don't have to learn the expensive lessons the expensive way. So sorry that happened to you.
It was, that's okay. It was, It was an invaluable lesson, though. I tell you what, we learned so much about it. Now, it does make us skittish about buying property. Like there's a laundromat for sale in Wichita that's former dry cleaners, and they're accepted into the dry cleaners program. It's closed for several years, for a few years, and it's completely unrelated to the, whether it was doing good business or not. But and like, it makes me nervous.
A little nervous, yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, it also makes me really want to have like a page on my website or something where people can just say, hey, this distributor did this to me in my neighborhood.
Well, I mean,
we need like a blast page because I hate fairness, that. There's no accountability for that whatsoever. And I agree. It's not all distributors, but it happens.
And I found out a week before they opened by one of my employees at the time who had ties to that town. Hey, did you know there's a laundromat opening over here? And I was, and who's open? He told me who's opening it. I was like, no, you got to be kidding me. But in all fairness to the distributor, I mean, they're in the business to sell equipment, and had I had all brand new equipment and was attended and wasn't in a building that was 60 years old and stuff like that, nobody would have encroached on my turf. Mm-hmm. So what I felt was my turf. And I still had, even after he opened, I still had business. People, were a lot of people in that area didn't have cars or, it's in walking distance. Mm-hmm. It's right downtown. So it's closer to walk over to my mat than the other one. But distributors are, my distributor's probably going to watch this. I love you guys. You're awesome. But at the end of the day, they're arms dealers, right? They'll sell the ammunition, they'll sell the equipment to both sides. Mm-hmm. So that's their job. That's what they do. They are there to sell the equipment. So, and it's our job as laundromat owners to make our laundromats the most awesome places to where nobody in their right mind would put one anywhere near you. Yep.
And I think that's a great takeaway lesson, right? And that's because you can't control what somebody else does. Now I get, their arms. I like that analogy. That's why when
sounds kind of harsh, but
no, but it is. And that's when I do webinars for new people on how to buy a laundromat, and that stuff. And I talk about who do you need on your team. I separate teammates into two categories. Category one is aligned interest teammates. That's going to be like your lender, like a consultant, like other laundromat owners. Right. And misaligned interest teammates can be super valuable, can help you out, can give you a lot of great information. But in the end, their interests are not aligned with you. And I put brokers and distributors. I'm a broker over here, in California. So in that way, I fall in that category, right? And again, it can be an awesome teammate for you, but you got to remember where interests lie. And, they only make money if they sell.
It's like they always say, follow the money. Mm-hmm. Follow the money. Who's going to make money off of you doing this deal?
Yeah.
Well, they make more money off you if you do well. And, good distributors will recognize if you do well and if they help you find, like if you are working with a distributor to find a location, if you do well in that one location, you're going to get the bug and you're going to want to build another laundromat.
Yep.
And they're going to be the first distributor you talk to. They're going to sell you more equipment. Mm-hmm. But for the one who's just in it for the quick sell, which I personally have not dealt with any of those, but I'm sure they're out there. They might not have your best interests at heart because they probably won't make any more money off of you.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's like, I keep thinking about the broker who sold me my first laundromat and it went so bad. Like, look how much business I could send that guy now. And I've had consulting clients who have been using him. And I said, hey, just to let you know, like this is who sold me my first laundromat. And he's lost business because he did me wrong. Right. And a lot of other people too. So anyways, not to get off that. I mean, you can't control. I mean, I think there's valuable lessons in there that you shared, but you can't control what they do. Like they're going to do what they want to do. If they want to be short-sighted and make a sale, let them do it. In the long run, they're going to lose out. But I love your takeaway is like, hey, you know what would have avoided all this in the first place if I had been the kind of presence in my community where somebody would look at it and say, you know what, it doesn't make sense to buy here. I can't compete with that. Yeah. Right. And so I think that's what we should all be striving for in our businesses, is building businesses that people don't want to compete with. And you can do that with the small laundromat, and you can do that with the big laundromat.
Yep.
So I think that's a great takeaway.
Yeah. Had I lived in that little town to where I could have been down there all the time, it would have been very different, but I just couldn't. I mean, I still had my 2 kids at home and lived at the time about 20 minutes away. So I just, Well, and still trying to sell real estate at the time too. So
that's.
I used to laugh at people and say, "Oh, I'm just too busy to do that." I'm like, "Yeah, follow me for a day. I'll show you busy."
Yeah. You got a lot more time than you think you do over there.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Okay. So enough of the hard lessons. I mean, sorry that it all went down that way, but you know what? You got rid of that one finally, and you got a nice new awesome one now. So, and
more learning opportunity. And I used everything that I learned to put into the new one. So
that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talk to me about building a laundromat. I get asked about building a laundromat from scratch. I think a lot of people are very intimidated by that because it's intimidating. So can you tell us a little bit about that process? And
it's scary. Well, location, right? You got to find the right location, the right demographics. You find your location first. Okay. Then you decide, okay, here's my location. Building, you got the permitting. So fortunately, my husband, the structural engineer, he was working for a construction company at the time, a building company. So we let them handle all that for this particular laundromat. We went with basically a prefab metal building. You couldn't tell it from looking at the front or the sides of the mat. On the back, you can tell it's where the dryer vents come out. You can see it's all metal building. Brick facade, the EFS stuff, the stucco-like stuff on the front just looks like a regular building. Got the permitting, you got sizing of your water lines, your sewer lines, electrical service, gas service, all that engineering stuff. So that's where Steve and I are a great fit. Is he handles all of that stuff, and I handle this is what I want in an equipment mix. This is what I want. We spent a year designing this thing pretty much before we even bought the land. I mean, we had it designed up. I mean, there's still, if you could see it over on the wall, we still got our blueprints up on the wall we refer to all the time. I also have a map of Wichita with numbered pins of every laundromat in town, and a coordinating spreadsheet to it. But so the building process, Steve will be the first one to tell you he has no interest in the day-to-day operations of it. He loves building them. He doesn't like running them. The building process gives me ulcers. Oh, it is excruciating.
Yeah.
If you've ever built a house with your spouse, multiply that by 10. And then because you're putting all of your money into an investment that you're sure hoping is going to work.
Right.
Put your money into a house, your house is going to be there. The equity is there unless you built it over a toxic pit of some sort or in a flood zone.
Or a dry cleaner.
Or dry cleaners. That would be the toxic pit.
Yeah.
But you're putting a crap ton of money. A crap ton is a unit of measure in our household.
Yeah.
Into a business, and you're gambling that you pick the right spot. This is going to be as necessary in the community as you think it is. That the business plan that you've laid out is really going to work. And that the business plan you've given to the bank, begging them for this hundreds of thousands of dollars, is really, you're going to be able to pay them back. So yeah, it's fun. I still want to do it again. It's kind of like when you have a baby. You guys won't get this, you gals will. When you have a baby, it's a lot of pain. And I mean, it is excruciating pain, worst pain of your life. But then after that subsides and you forget about the pain, you're like, oh, I want to do it again. So, yeah, we'll have another baby sometime.
Yeah.
We got to find the right place.
I like that. Building laundromats is like birthing pains. It's great.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. It's painful. It leaves scars. Yep. So the cool thing about building though, is you get, just like a house too, you get exactly what you want. You're not inheriting somebody else's problems. Mm-hmm.
You get to make your own problems. Yeah.
Yeah. We create our own. I don't have to worry that a dry cleaners was ever there. I don't have to worry about if the sewer pipes are still clay. I don't have to worry about that the electrical panel was put in decades ago. I don't have to worry about any of it. We know exactly where it is, that it's sized exactly right. Steve engineers things. He over-engineers things. I love it. I'll never have to worry about anything. I'll never have to worry about having enough supply line, enough sewer, enough this, enough that. It's, we're built. So I guess step number one, marry an engineer.
Got it. Yeah.
Can't do that. You got to find a good one. But finding the right contractor to partner with,
I'll have to, if I ever build a laundromat from scratch, I'll have to pitch the idea of a sister wife to my wife so they can get
that. I would not recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it would. I don't think it'd go over very well. Anyway.
Yeah, let's not do that. So then you go to plan B, which is find a good one.
Yeah, partner with one or
you'll have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Hire one. I just don't into it. So.
Hire a sister wife or
no
electrical engineer. Okay.
Engineer.
I mean,
find an engineer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, man, things are getting weird now.
Calm down, Jordan.
So I mean, the building process is crazy. Did you find, a lot of people are afraid, and in some places, rightly so, but it varies widely depending on your water district. I mean, did you find big fees that you ran into, like impact fees, one that gets thrown around a lot, stuff like that? Was that a big factor or?
Well, we're in Wichita, Kansas, so we really didn't have the huge impact fees that y'all in California would encounter. I don't think there was anything that was outrageous. Land is relatively cheap here too. So we built a 4,800 square foot building. We have 30 washers. We did leave 2 blank spaces, so we got capacity for 32 washers, 35 dryer pockets. We could have, if we were building it again, there are, of course, things I'd do differently. A lot of things I'd cut out. We could have cut a lot of money off of things I was insistent. Okay, no, I have to have this. I have to have that. Well, no, I didn't have to have that, but I'd put in more storage. Oh my gosh, you always need more storage. I didn't realize how fast, we do wash, dry, fold, and we do a health wash, dry, fold business. And we try to turn it as fast as possible. So we can usually do same day service if it's not in a huge amount of stuff. But I've been Monday through Friday, I've got up to 3 people working during the day. And the nice thing about that is people will typically come to us if they want it fast, and they'll come get it and get it out of our way. But if they don't, it's backing up. And then I'm kicking myself once again for not having enough storage space. Why didn't I build this differently? And so we've actually had to reclaim some of the floor space that used to be seating for more processing and storage space. So I've got all the room in the world, but it wasn't quite allocated the way I probably should have put it. But customers love the wide aisles, plenty of room. The doors can be open. If you come in the center, doors can be open to the washers, and then 2 carts. Plenty of room for 2 carts, and then maybe another one even going past. So we were social distancing before it was a thing. Before it was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Before it's cool.
Yeah. It's funny. So being in LA here, and then, I'll talk to people like New York market, and then we'll see other laundromats like yours, like the Willifords, like, Dave Mann, like these aisles that you could literally drive a car through, and we're like, where does all the space come from?
Yeah, I have a Ford truck. I could drive my truck right down the middle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Back out. But
it's
huge.
even with all the doors closed in the washers, we got to like squeeze through sideways over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not quite that bad, but but it is wild how, having those big aisles, and it makes a big difference, right?
And so that I'm glad you brought that up, because that highlights the difference in, like I said, that's one thing I love about this business is you can have it so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can have a small little mat, 1,500 square feet, in a little neighborhood pocket laundromat that's unattended. You can have, one of our bigger ones like mine and Dave's that's huge and fully attended and plenty of room in it, different payment options. You can just do it so many different ways. And it depends, your geography often depends what that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Wichita, we expect, you're going to get in the car and you're going to drive somewhere to go to a laundromat. New York, LA, you might be just walking from the apartment building over. So, do I need a parking lot? Do I not? Every mat's different, every demographic, every city.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And it can vary very widely, depending on all of these different factors and depending on your business model, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I like that about this business too. And it's something that actually really surprised me when I started doing this. Because even when I got in the business, I didn't really realize there's like a million different ways you can run this business, and new ones popping up all the time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can be quarters only. You can be dollars and quarters. So coin only. You can be card only. You can be app only. You can be any combination of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-serve, unattended, fully attended, wash, dry, fold, pick up and delivery, have a cafe, have a bar, have convenience store. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it just depends what is best for you, your family, your business model. What business model do you want? And do you believe that's going to work in your community?
Yeah.
You can try shoving it down the throats. You're taking a gamble. So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
it's so variable.
Yeah. I think what a lot of us find too, is that our ideas, our business plans they're just constantly evolving. It's like you lay out your business plan. I've had so many people that I've talked to who, wanted the quintessential unattended, easy, passive, quote unquote, laundromat, and had got into the business and was like, whoa, I could build this into a real big business. And have gone from that, I want a side income, to I want to build a big business, and have gone on to acquire a bunch of laundromats or start a pickup and delivery service, or, a lot of different things. And I think when people get in this business, your plans evolve. You learn a lot, obviously. Yeah. You learn a ton and about your business, about the business in general, and about yourself, I think, even, and what you're looking for. So,
and that mirrors me. Yeah. It was just supposed to be this little side income. And I was mainly a real estate agent at the time. And then I was like, this could be huge. I'm learning so much. I'm reading books. I'm reading, we joined the CLA, Coin Laundry Association, before we even before I even bought the place in El Dorado. I was reading magazines. I was on the forums reading, learning from people. And it's like, this is very eye-opening. So now it's, I have my broker's license as a realtor, but that's just for our commercial interests. So I don't really, I'll sell for, friends or whatever, buy or sell, help them, but mainly it's just for us. But mainly we are laundry 24/7. I'm just laundry.
Go. Laundry.
Love the business. Love it.
That's awesome. Okay. So when you opened your store, first of all, how did you, you built it. Did you do a big promotion when you opened it? This is a brand new location. Another big fear is I want to put in, you already kind of alluded to, I'm going to put in a big store and I hope people will come.
Yeah.
How did you get people to come?
So, we joined the Chambers of Commerce, the local Wichita Chamber of Commerce. We had the ribbon cutting. So there was a little bit of, yay, a little bit of raw.
Yeah.
But Facebook ads, Google ads, a A lot of those. So when we first opened, Steve and I worked it ourselves. We didn't have any employees, couldn't afford it. So I would work it during the day. Steve would come in after he got off his day job and work it to close. And so we didn't see a lot of each other there for the first few months. We finally hired a part-time person for just weekend mornings. So I could sleep in on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Yay. After about 3 months, I think we were about 3 months in by then. But yeah, the first 3 months was just us all the time. If we were open, once Steve or I or both of us was there. But that being said, we went into the black. We broke even in 6 weeks after opening.
That's awesome.
Huge equipment loan and this huge building loan, land and building loan. We broke even. Now we were working all the hours ourselves and it was exhausting, but that told us we were on the right track. And trying to encourage people to give us Google reviews, obviously 5-star reviews, if at all possible. Just building that word of mouth. And, so many people came in that thanked us for putting the mat in there, that it was, we got your three basic tenets: clean, safe, friendly. Got to be clean. So I had this bright idea that we would put in, we have tile floors, right? We have porcelain tile and it's white. White floors and white walls and white ceilings. And yeah, a lot of places that would look kind of boring, but we got some pops of color here and there. So it's not quite as white as it was 4 years ago, but it's kind of a grayish, but still looks kind of natural. But you can tell on our floors if it's dirty or not. You go into a lot of competitors' stores, you can't really tell. It's maybe a brown stucco type stuff. The big laundromats, we have some big, 4 bigger ones in town, was built by the same guy who believed in carpet. They all have carpet.
Carpet?
Yes, carpet.
All right.
Yeah, I guess their customers are better than ours at not spilling stuff on the floor.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
You'll have those trapped smells. It's not pleasant. I'm not going to badmouth them, but if you're ever in Wichita, go in theirs, go in ours, see which one you like better.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were not going to do carpet, and I didn't want the concrete floor, just to finish. I know that's all the rage. You guys all like your epoxy floors, polished floors on the laundromats when you build them, and it looks like a garage. The black ceiling and the concrete floors looks like a garage. No woman wants to go in and garage. So that was the other thing, is I wanted to build it from the woman's point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
We have both our entrances are automatic doors. I remember having had 2 little kids. I'd never been in a laundromat, used a laundromat until I bought my first one. That was my only experience with a laundromat. But if you're a mom and who's your holy grail of a customer, right? You want the mom with a bunch of kids. She might be bringing the kids with you, but that's your target market, is the families, right? You want the big families. Mom with a bunch of kids. Kids are coming with her. She's got a laundry basket in one hand, a toddler on her hip. You want her to have to mess with the door? Probably not. You want her to give her plenty of room. You want a wow factor. You want her to walk in not looking like she's walking into the garage to do her laundry. The floors need to be clean. So if the laundry falls out into the floor after you're getting it out of the washer, you're not getting dirt all over it. If it falls out of the dryer onto the floor, you're not getting dirt all over it. It needs to feel safe. We have a lot of glass. We put a lot of glass in that place. So the south and the east walls are pretty much all glass. You can see in, you can see out. You can see what's going on. You feel safe. And then we're fully attended. We hire, it's hard to get good help. Hire on personality and hopefully a little bit of intelligence as well. And I've got a book we kind of try to go by that we hire with that mentality. But you got to be friendly. You got to be nice. We're not going to be that surly attendant with no uniform shirt. And you don't even know if they work there and they don't want to help. If you need something, just holler at us. So I don't even remember what the question was, Jordan. I just get onto laundromats and I start rambling.
No, that's okay. I mean, I was asking you how you got people in there, and you, I think you answered it.
Once we get them in there, we tend to keep them coming back. So we are the high price leader in our market. We're 15 cents a pound, basically on washer capacity. I actually got our prices on our website. I think I still have them on the website. I mean, you can see them when you come in. A little bit higher on the 20 pounds. We have 5 different sizes of washers, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I have 820s, 1240s, 460s, 480s, and 200s. Dryers, we have 3 75-pound pockets. I would put more in if I was building again. I've got 2 30-pound stacks, which I would eliminate those and put 75s in their place, and 14 45-pound stacks. So there's my equipment mix. The 100-pound washer vents for $15. So you can put all those quarters in if you want. I'd rather you use the app or come pay at the counter. But if you want to use quarters, you can.
Yeah, that's a lot of quarters.
Get your roll. People do it. I don't get it, but they either want to remain anonymous. I don't want to mess with an app. They're not comfortable with technology, or maybe they're not. They don't want to. They want to just come in and do their laundry. They don't want to talk to the attendant, so maybe they don't want to pay at the counter. It's fine. I'll take your money however you want to give it to me. I'm okay with that. Put your quarters in. But
do you have a sense of like a percentage of how many people use the app versus cash options? So
I actually did that number here a while back. So we've got coins versus either pay with the app or pay at the counter, either credit, debit, or cash. And we're at about 50-50.
50-50.
So yeah, I'd like it to be more credit, debit, or app or pay at the counter.
Right.
Because, the coins are just a pain in the butt.
Right.
But since we are fully attended and we do have the ability, you pay at the counter and we start the machine for you. If the change machine is malfunctioning, we keep it stocked. I have managers there throughout the day, 7 days a week. So we keep that stocked. But if it malfunctions or something screws up, we just put a sign on it that says, please see attendant. And they can always pay for their washer at the counter. So
maybe you should let it malfunction more often. And
I don't exactly rush in to fix it. It doesn't mess up very often. Usually those little rollers, the little rollers, dunk on them. It doesn't want to take the bills in anymore. Those just need to be cleaned off. That's about the only problem we've ever had. Or a bill gets jammed in it, but we're not in a big hurry to go clean it.
Yeah.
We have converted people to paying at the counter and using the app by having the change machine have a problem.
You should do what everybody else is doing and be like, oh, COVID, can't get parts for, COVID. Yeah. You can just blame everything on COVID and it's fine.
Pretty much.
People are like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense. You can't,
COVID.
I'll just pay at the counter,
Yeah.
And then they forget that there's a changer ever and you never have to do it anymore. Okay. Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that about 50-50. And do you know about how much of the pay at the counter versus app? Yeah. Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, I could, But the cool thing about having, computerized systems, having a payment system that you can see what your payments are, and then having our POS system. The POS system we're using right now is Brian Henderson's. Shout out to Brian! Yay! Trifold POS. It's all cloud based. So. But with his reports between that and from Insights, I could tell, but I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. But I was mainly when I was calculating them, I just wanted to see how much my coin usage was at the machine. So
yeah, that's cool. I was just kind of curious about that.
I'm old; I can't remember a lot of stuff. So.
You know what? That's the beauty of all this new technology. You don't have to remember any of it. You can just look at it, touch your fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I can pull a report on that.
Yeah.
Whatever I want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, quick question I had. Totally. Okay. I mean, it's not a big deal question, but
okay.
Would you do white floors again if you had to do it over?
We're not doing white floors in the next one now. Okay. It's going to be kind of a shade of gray.
So,
actually, I'm copying. So I like to copy.
Yeah.
I can be a little bit creative, but not a whole lot. But I love the Williford's floors. That gray, that shade of gray, something like that, either squares or the long,
long tiles
by 12 by 24s or something like that. So I do like the white. It is nice. It is a pain to keep clean when you've got staff who won't follow the procedures for cleaning the floors at night.
Yeah.
So we do close at 10. We're open 8 a.m. to 10 at night. So there's, I don't have to worry about overnight stuff, but when we hire new people, we typically start them on the closing shift. And then if we've got a day position open, then we move them up. But it's on the closer to keep the floors, to clean them and have them ready for the morning.
Yeah. Even if you follow the procedure, eventually those white floors, I did a very, very light gray on one of my laundromats. And I was like, cause you want it to feel clean, light, bright, and you're like, it's a good thing. I mean, if you got white floors and you can keep them white most of the time, it's a good thing, because it communicates, hey, we're clean, but it's a lot of work to keep them looking clean all the time. So,
it really is. Yeah. Vacuuming your entry rugs on a regular basis is huge. That's the first thing people are going to see when they come in is entry rugs. So that's a quick, easy thing that any attendant, no matter what, can do. So
yeah, good little tip there.
Big branded logoed rug when you first walk in. So I'd like to keep it clean.
Yeah. Okay. So you gotten people in, you did the Chamber of Commerce thing, you did some ads on Google and Facebook, got people in, a lot of word of mouth. And you said, which I love, like once people come, they tend to stay. I actually wrote that quote down. That's pretty nice. So, I was going to ask a question about, did you start off with wash, dry, fold from day one?
Not day one. It was in the plans to start. We wanted to get down the whole, let's make sure, we're the guinea pigs for this new, everything's on electronic, is completely new for Wichita. Just people come in and you got the wow factor and what, I can use a credit or debit card and pay for my machines. You're kidding. It's different. So we wanted to get that down pat, but it was within probably about the first month that we started wash, dry, fold. We started drop off laundry. So we started at $1.25 a pound. We do it a little bit differently. I'd researched what do other places do. And at Clean, I think that was that Clean in Vegas, that first one that we had went to, where Jeff Gardner, the laundry doctor, had a little seminar on doing wash, dry, fold. And he's talking about how they wrap items in plastic. So like you sort all the t-shirts out, you wrap those in plastic, you wrap the jeans in plastic, you wrap all the socks, you wrap all the underwear and stuff. You try to sort it out by, you can tell girl stuff, boy stuff like that. It's like, that's a really good idea. So we started wrapping in plastic for our drop-off orders. Nobody else does that in town. We are not very eco-friendly. I'm sorry. We use a lot of plastic. Between that and then our little wash, dry, fold, we don't use the clear plastic bags at this point. I thought about changing over, but right now we get the bags from Cleaner Supply that says, not the one, do your laundry in 4 minutes, but something about clean and fresh or something like that. They're white bags with red and blue stuff on the front. I don't have one with me handy, but so we'll wrap everything, put them in those bags, and then, tie the handles. And then if it falls over in somebody's car, it's not spilling out and, here's your laundry. Everything stays in there nice and neat and packaged. Most everybody likes that. We do have a few people that they either want to save the plastic or we've got one who owns a very popular diner in town. He gets up at about 2:30 in the morning to get up and go in and start fixing breakfast. And he doesn't want to be unwrapping stuff. He just wants to grab his pants and go. So we don't wrap their stuff, but the vast majority think it's a really nice little touch. And then we hang up the nicer stuff, put plastic over them, like it would come from a dry cleaners, like a polo shirt or a button-up shirt,
right?
Slacks, dresses, stuff like that.
Yeah. How long did it take for your wash, dry, fold business to kind of ramp up? Was it quick or did it take a little while? It seems,
no, it went up pretty quickly. In that particular area, So the highest priced around for a laundromat was $1.25 a pound. We started at $1.25 a pound. That laundromat still at $1.25 a pound. We're at $2.19. As we got up to the point where I need to. It's the problem with drop off and with pickup and delivery, right? You want more business, but then you need more people to handle it. And then there's more payroll. Mm-hmm. You got to watch your budget, but then you got to, if you want to scale, where's that balance at? So I chose to, rather than have 10 people working on laundry, let's just raise the price a little bit at a time and start weeding out some of the customers until we're at a comfortable point. And we still have, we had a 200 pound order last week. Dropped awesome. $2.19 a pound plus tax.
Yeah.
We still get them. I'm okay with that. I'm way okay with that. Now we're not that around in one day, but as long as you're okay with waiting for it. And if you're not, then there's our equipment. Oh yeah. We sell some soap and you can pay right here at the counter with credit and debit cards and you can do it. So right. we got you covered no matter what. But I think there's plenty of for a well-run service. That's the trick. You've got to provide the quality. Mm-hmm. You've got to provide the quality. You can't just charge for a crappy service. You've got to provide the quality, and the business is there. If you can treat your customers well and provide the quality, people see it. How did you
promote your wash rifle? Did you just promote it in store? Did you
Facebook and Google? Yeah. I've got colored flyers at the front that I actually printed off or had a print shop print for me. The Facebook and Google ads, and I also forgot to mention, I also have my website. I developed the website myself, but do a lot of SEO and stuff like that. So if somebody's searching for a laundry service, hopefully we come up. I think we do for Wichita. Not a lot of laundromats in Wichita offer drop-off service. There's one big dry cleaners in town. There's a couple other smaller dry cleaners, but there's one big dry cleaners in town that has the lion's share of that business. We're getting there though. So
nice. Yeah.
I have total 6 employees, 3 are full-time and 3 are part-time. And I don't have the 60 some odd employees that other people have, but then I don't have the volume. So
yeah. And most people who have that many, that's spread across multiple stores usually. So
yeah, that's that dry cleaner has 12 drop stores and a big processing plant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have near as many headaches.
That's right. Well, and that's kind of a balance. I mean, we talked about an evolving business plan. I've talked with a few owners who have grown a really big drop off or pickup and delivery service, realized, holy cow, this is a lot of work, and it's not the business I want to run, and have compressed it, either through raising prices or saying no more often, or different ways of doing it, but have compressed it and actually enjoy having less business at a higher margin as opposed to more business at a lower margin. I still
struggle, when we're having problems with the customer's order or something. I still struggle with, why are we even doing drop off laundry? Yes, Luke Williford and Lee Williford whisper in my ear,
stop
it and do self-service only, and don't do pickup and delivery. Then we have the $500 order come in, and I'm like, this is okay. It's paying my employees' wages.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll employ more people and with that. So I don't know. There's days when I kind of think the next store, it probably won't do drop off. Mm-hmm. We're just going to push the pickup and delivery piece. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I do struggle with that. It is really nice having people come in. And I mean, we're in a business where people come in, we're renting utilities and we're renting machines. Mm-hmm. And they do their own laundry. They're their own labor. You don't like the way it came out? We'll use a different soap next time, actually, I know that sounds horrible, but they don't like the way it came out. That's another thing about it all being on computerized. We can start the machine again for you. just touch of a button. Let's run it again for you. We can rapid advance it just the rinse cycle because you put too much soap in. But that's just part of the customer service aspect of, but yeah. It's a trade-off between self-service and doing laundry for people. We're really, really good, but we can't work miracles. That people recognize the fact we're really, really good at doing other people's laundry. So I've been doing laundry myself for 40 years since I first got married for the first time. So I about got the hang of it.
Pretty much a pro now. Yeah.
Pretty much. So,
well, okay. Let's talk about pickup and delivery. Did you start that when you started Wash, Dry, Fold, or did that come a little later?
No, that was 2 years later. We looked, like geniuses at the time, like we had planned it just for the virus. But the end of 2019, Steve and I were trying to decide, wow, pickup and delivery is kind of a thing. Should we jump into there? We're really good at, we recognize it's a completely different animal. Just because you do wash, dry, fold doesn't mean, in-store drop-off doesn't, pickup and delivery is like, on Star Trek, how they played 3-dimensional chess. Mm-hmm. It's another dimension. You got 2-dimensional chess, and then you add that extra spatial dimension to it. It's completely different. Do we jump into that or not? And we decided, okay, January 1st of 2020, we're going to make a go, no go on it decision. So January 1st came, we decided, yep, we're going to go for it. So then we had to try to find a software that would handle it, that I liked, that was the price point that I wanted, that could expand with us. Because I sure wasn't going to do it on paper or on a spreadsheet. So April 1st, April Fool's Day of 2020, we launched it, bought a van, little Ford Transit Connect XL, had it wrapped. We've actually branded it separate from the laundry station. So it's Laundry Express. Then I come to find out about half of the laundry delivery services in the United States are named Laundry Express. What we're thinking. There's also a lot of laundry stations too. So I should have done a better job on naming it, but we branded it separately. It's a separate LLC. If I had it to do over again, I already had a big following with the laundry station. Now I'm starting a new brand from scratch and trying to get it up to the same recognition level. And that has been a struggle. I probably should have branded it the same, but so now I'm trying to figure out if I want to bring that back in and brand it the same or what. So it's just like a business plan. You alluded earlier to your business plan is always evolving. It's always changing. It's not, okay, this is the business plan. It's set in stone. Always be open to changing it. If something's not working right, just pivot. 2020 was pretty much the buzzword, wasn't it? Pivot. Ready to pivot. So pickup and delivery has been a steady growth. It's not been the rocket growth that I had hoped that the laundry station and the drop-off has been. But I probably have not worked that nearly as hard either. I take the blame for that. I haven't done the marketing, the cold calling, walking into businesses, developing the business accounts. But it's still profitable. It's still making money. You got to price it right. You have to know your numbers. You have to know how much it costs you to process a pound of laundry, either in store or pick up and delivery. And we've got, Steve and I have spreadsheets on everything. So yeah, so I need to work a little bit harder. If we're going to continue with the pickup and delivery, I need to work harder at making that grow. So, but then if it grows, then I got to hire more people.
I know.
And do we go to overnight processing? Because there's days when we're taking up half the machines but during the day we're not that busy. So there's the 3-dimensional chess part. Yeah. It's a lot of logistics, a lot of how do you allocate your machines and your staff. I don't want to have staff and I know a lot of places do this, that they'll call them in when they need them. And then you just expect them to be sitting there waiting by their phone. And then you call them in and they come in and they're, we changed that process last week. Now you got to learn this way. But it's hard. It's hard.
It is. And I always am like, hey, look, pickup and delivery is, I mean, you literally made it a separate business, but it's a different business. Like it's literally a different business. You're using the same assets, but it's a different business than self-serve. And even I would say probably different than wash, dry, fold, with the logistics component of having to have drivers and vehicles. And
the only thing's the same is that you're washing, you're drying, and you're folding. And we process for stain treatment, the amount of detergent and the size of washers, all that's the same. But then we don't wrap those things in plastic. We even package things differently. We have different branded bags that are delivery bags that they go back in. I mean, everything's different. So that area that I talked about that we reclaimed, that was a customer area where customer seating used to be. We put some little temporary walls up, like little office cubicle walls on wheels to cordon off that area. And that's our Laundry Express processing or holding area, if you will, storage area. So, I didn't think the storage thing through well enough when we built.
Yeah. Well, that's what I hear all the time is like, if I had to do it over, I'd find a location with more storage, or I'd build more storage, or, if you're planning on doing pickup and delivery or wash, dry, fold, even storage is so important. But it feels like wasted space until you got the business, right?
Yeah. And when we first built, I never dreamed we'd do pickup and delivery.
Yeah.
So the ultimate would be to have a separate facility just for pickup and delivery. But that, for us, that doesn't make sense. That's cost prohibitive and just doesn't make sense, because I got the same people processing the in-store drop-off that's processing the pickup and delivery stuff. So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, next one, you'll know.
Yeah.
Storage.
Next one will definitely be a lot more storage than I think we're going to need.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming Google and Facebook ads is how you've been building that pickup and delivery side of things. I mean, you mentioned some stuff you want to do, but up until now. Yeah,
so far that's been all I've done. When we first opened the laundry station, we did have did we have radio? We had TV. We had a TV ad, and we did do some radio advertising also. I did not put metrics on that like I should have to be able to measure that. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
That's right.
So I didn't put the metrics on there, to adequately measure that. We were just looking at the growth line, the trend line, but that's could have done better on that. So again, we learned.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of how much of your pickup and delivery is commercial versus residential? Are you focusing on one or the other?
Very, very little commercial. I think that's where our big growth is going to be. It's mainly residential right now.
Yeah. And I think there's huge opportunity in both sides, but you can get.
Yeah. COVID was huge for that. We still had a lot of in-store drop off, and we still had a lot of people doing self-service. And, I'm thankful we're considered an essential business. And like I told people at the start of when COVID, everybody started freaking out and stuff started locking down. Like, oh, you're afraid your business is going to lock down, your laundromat's going to lock down. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, if you want to see, you want to really see a pandemic, you want to see diseases spread, you found the capability for people to get clean clothes.
Right.
And watch the disease spread. So fortunately we stayed essential. So it wasn't an issue for us.
Yeah. We were fortunate in our industry for that. All right. So we have a segment of the podcast called Down to Business.
Let's get down to business. Over and out.
Okay.
However, I think we've covered everything that I normally ask in Down to Business, except for, and we kind of covered this on your initial side of things, but not as much of what it looks like now.
Okay.
How many hours are you spending on your business? Are you still working there full time? Are you still attending it full time? How many hours are you spending on this thing now?
Personally, I go in as little as possible. I do believe it's important to show up and, your employees are working for you. You need to make sure that they see you, that they are, that you're taking care of them. You're listening to their concerns. You're taking the roadblocks out of the way. You're taking care of them. So to be completely, you never see me again, that leads to employee discontent and stuff like that. So, working on, the goal is always to work on your business, not in your business. And I'm fully attended. I've got a kick butt management staff. Of course, my store manager is also Steve's daughter. It's my stepdaughter. Mm-hmm. So Cassie, shout out to Cassie. She rocks. I tell everybody she's like me. She's just like me, but she's younger and more energy. So just get out of the way. She rocks. So her and her family moved here from Texas about a year ago. With part of it was specifically for her to help me run this business. And then I have another. My assistant manager is Jen. I hope I'm not jinxing them to where something happens and they don't want this.
Knocking on wood over here. I think
knock on wood. Actually,
we're covered. Yeah, we're covered.
Jen rocks. She was a Dollar Tree manager for several of the Dollar Trees around, and I got to know her because we buy product. You know, a lot of people buy product from Dollar Tree, and then we resell the soaps and conditioners and stuff, or conditioners, hair softeners. And so that's how I got to know Jen, and I had worked on her for about a year. I was like, you should come work for me. Cause she's like, I'm working so many hours and this is, just not happy where she's at. You should come work for me. Well, then sure enough, she finally quit Dollar Tree. I'm like, come talk to me. I said, I am corporate. You don't have to deal with corporate anymore. I am corporate.
Yeah.
So she's a full timer as well. Then I've got another gal who mainly just does wash, dry, fold. Pretty much all. She's bilingual. Super, super nice. And then I've got my other three that are part-time. So that's my staffing. But so that way, the only time I need to go in is if we've got built-in redundancy. You also want that in a business. This closer can't close. That one can't. Neither of my managers can. Somebody's sick, whatever. Then I come in. So I'm kind of the last resort. Mm-hmm. So, but I'll go whenever I go in. I'll grab a broom. I'll go clean. What do you need? You need something? You guys super swamped on something? I'll run the register. I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever they need done because I have done it.
Yeah.
I don't ask anybody to do anything I can't or won't do myself. But as far as working on the business, I'm 24/7. I even dream laundry. We all dream laundry when we're in it. But I'm always thinking and looking and reading books and working on my numbers and thinking of new advertising and stuff like that. I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
I'm not one of those people that's ever going to retire. I'll have to do something. If it's not laundry, I'll have to be doing something productive somewhere. I got to stay busy.
That's how I am too. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe we're both ADHD.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So, I wanted to ask you about this actually, and you kind of already started going into it, but you've mentioned your team multiple times. Can we talk a little bit about how are you building the team? How are you finding employees? And then how are you, you say you have a great team. How do we all have great teams? What's your key to building a great team?
Well, my core, my full timers, those, I talked Cassie into moving here from Texas. I got Jen to come to the dark side from Dollar Tree. Martha was being underutilized where she was at a hotel chain, but she loved to do laundry, so I got her to come over. So there's my three core people. My part-timers, there's been a bit of a turn there. It's hard to get good help. Laundromats are not the most glamorous, sexy places to work. Mm-hmm. They'd rather work at Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or something like that with more prestige. Yet that's the type of person that I want working for us. I want them to have heart for people. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to help them. You want to have I have to have the brains to be able to operate the POS system. Mm-hmm. And you got to be honest and, the traits that we all are looking for. So, it's kind of a challenge. I usually advertise on Indeed. I'll be honest. I have never found anybody worth interviewing on Facebook, but not out Facebook jobs ever. I think there's been a couple we pulled in. I was like, oh no. So Indeed is what I've used, either sometimes paid, sometimes not, usually just not, don't even pay Indeed. put signs up in the store. Some of my best employees have been former customers because they know what we expect. The ones that come in and they've never been in our laundromat, they have preconceived notions of what a laundromat's supposed to be like, which is probably 90% of the laundromats around. And we're not anything like that. We're high tech, we're clean, we're safe, we're friendly, blah, blah, blah. And so trying to find the right fit has always been a challenge. There is a book that is called, where is it? Actually, I have it over here. One moment.
Mm-hmm.
The Ideal Team Player. Patrick Lencioni, I guess is how you pronounce it. The Ideal Team Player.
Mm-hmm.
Want people who are humble, hungry, and smart. They're humble. They aren't braggadocious or anything. They're hungry. They want to do well. They want to advance in your company, and they're smart. Not necessarily smart with brains, but it's kind of like an emotional intelligence. They understand interpersonal relationships, the customer-employee relationship, the coworker relationships, stuff like that. So, you just talk. You just kind of get to know people by talking to them with an interview. We have some questionnaires that we have them fill out. It's actually the ones that you hate, your little essay questions. You also learn if you can read their handwriting too, which is important. If they're leaving for the next attendant, you got to be able to read, right?
I don't know. Doctors seem to pull it off somehow.
They do. Well, they have the nurses write for them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. They do. That's smart.
So, but that is I would say our biggest struggle. And I think that's probably everybody's biggest struggle is getting the right employees. Minimum wage in Kansas is still $7.25. We start at 12.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we start at 12.
That's awesome.
And we've interviewed people from other laundromats that they're now maxed out at 12. And I still didn't hire them because I was like, yeah, you're still not to our standards.
Yeah, you're maxed out already.
But I'd love to get to where we start at 15. That's my goal. I would love to be able to start the closer $15 an hour, a little more of incentive to show up, and hopefully attract a little better candidates. So we try to treat them well, we pay them well, but I also expect you to do the job. I expect you to take care of the customers and take care of my property. That's all you got to do. Just like as a landlord, when you have rental properties, take care of my property and pay me on time. Mm-hmm. Two things people have so much trouble with. Mm-hmm. Your employees, do the job, take care of the business, do the job. I got checklists. Here's what you do during the day. Here's what you do to close. And and take care of our customers and you'll be fine. We'll advance you pretty quickly. We'll review them after 30 days, start giving them advances after that. We pay people double time on holidays, not time and a half. We'll pay them double time because I don't want to have to come in and work.
Yeah.
So please, I'll pay you twice what you normally make if you'll just come in. Don't call out. We're closed Christmas and Thanksgiving. We close early Christmas Eve, the day before Thanksgiving. Close early on the 4th of July. Nobody comes in after 6 on the 4th. Stuff like that. New Year's Eve, we'll close early. Mm-hmm. We're open New Year's Day. We're open Easter. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I will. Go ahead.
No, your employees are people. Take care of your, like they say, take care of your employees. And take care of your customers. Your employees will take care of your customers, and both that group, they'll take care of you. So,
yeah, I will link to the Ideal Team Player just in case anybody is looking to build your team or you're trying to strengthen your team for your business. I'll link to it because I think it's a great read. And
it's a really good book. You've read it then?
Yeah.
You read it? Yeah. So I've between Steve and I, we probably have thousands of books, but I only have hundreds. So I read a lot, audiobooks and mainly read books.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay. We have another segment of the podcast called Secret Sauce.
Listen up, it's the secret sauce.
And Secret Sauce is, hey, what's something maybe that's working well for your business that you think other laundromat owners could or should employ in their business to help us get to the next level?
The three things I hit on: clean, safe, friendly. We are still, I mean, we've been open a little over 4 years and we still have people come in. It's like, oh, this hasn't been open very long, has it? And I said, no, it's a little over 4 years. I'm like, oh, this looks brand new. I mean, they don't know the floors actually used to be white.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You like our gray floors?
Yeah. But we got some dings in the walls. I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. But they still are shocked that it's been open 4 years. We keep it clean.
Mm-hmm.
We keep everything looking new. We keep the machines, as clean as possible. Safe. Also on clean, pick up, I try to keep trash picked up in the parking lot and in the landscaping and all around. And the safe, the windows all around. I've got LED lights inside, LED lights, pack lights all around the building. So, and I told the electrician when we built, I wanted it lit up like 4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
Got lights in the parking lot. There's no place for somebody to hide in the shadows there around the building. So, clean, safe. We'll get a homeless person every once in a while. We are not located in an area where there's a lot of services for them. Like we're not near Salvation Army or the homeless shelter or stuff like that. But, we'll still have them come through. I have no problem. Steve and I and our family and both sides of our family, his family and mine, we've both had relatives who have been homeless at points in their lives. And so we do have a heart for that.
Mm-hmm.
So you come in, I don't have a problem coming in, drying off, warming up, cooling off, whatever, give you a bottle of water, sit there and relax and, kind of plan what your next plan is. But after about an hour, you'll need to have a plan to move on.
Mm-hmm.
But being fully attended, we can manage that. So it's safe for the patrons, but then it's just safe for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem. My employees are empowered to call 911 if they feel like it's necessary. I trust their judgment. I said, I'll back you up on it. I don't care what it is, but I want them to feel safe. I want the customers to feel safe, everybody. And then friendly. When I hire them on, and I try to reiterate this with people, with my employees, that you don't know what your customers are going through. You don't even know what your coworkers are going through. You don't know what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
Smile. You might be the only smile they see all day. The grocery store clerk, the gas station attendant, somebody else, they hate their job, they hate their life, and they're just surly. We're going to be a place where you smile. Just be friendly with people. And you might hear their life story. You also might find out I have had people tell me, how's your day going? Oh, it's awful. I just found out I have cancer. I mean, I actually had a customer tell me that one day. I was like, okay, I wasn't prepared for that, but I sat down there and just let them talk to me for a little bit, get them tissue if they're going to cry and stuff. But, just try to touch them as a human. It's not all about the profits, the money. It is a service. We're serving the community. We've got a little corner for kids' books, a little table and chairs. So we do have a little kids' corner. We don't have any toys and stuff, but I don't want them to choke on things or throw them on the floor. But we've got the kids' corner. It's about people. Try to connect with the people and try to get your employees to connect with the people. Tell them that's part of the checklist. Go out on the floor every 30 minutes, sweep, talk to customers, smile at them. Ask them if everything's coming out okay. So
I love that.
Like it or not, that's part of the job.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, because it sounds so basic, but it's part of the job, but it's the key.
It is.
Right? So the crucial part's the heart of the job.
We have this real nice attendance area that's completely open. I mean, we are not set up. We're not built to even be unattended.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's completely, you got the half walls and then the area that you can walk in back into the attendance area. And it's really easy to just stand back there in your safe zone, this little safe area where only the attendant can go. And with this big building, it's kind of scary to go all the way out there to the deep end, to the far side of the building and talk to somebody. So
yeah,
you have to hire people that aren't afraid of people.
Yeah. Which is easier said than done sometimes.
It is.
All right. We have another segment called Pro Tips.
Pro Tips.
And Pro Tips is for the newbies, people trying to buy their first or build their first laundromat. What tips do you have for somebody, trying to get into this business?
It guaranteed it's going to take more cash than you think. Yeah, there's free laundromats out there. It's free for a reason. You're going to need to put money into it to make it profitable, make it worthwhile. Especially if you're building, you're going to have cost overruns. We had wound up having a storm sewer project where we have actually storm sewer in our parking lot because of the way everything had to be graded down. And I also had to buy a fire hydrant. I have my own fire hydrant. I'm going to paint it pink someday, but I haven't yet. But out in the landscaping, so water main comes off to that and then into the building. But that was $50,000 we had not planned on between the stormwater sewer project and the fire hydrant. Oof. So there went my 401k.
Yeah.
So it at the time, that's all we had to tap into. I mean, everything else was in the land and construction costs, and that was a gotcha. We couldn't have planned. I mean, there's a fire hydrant here, there's a fire hydrant there, but the fire department decided that we were just far enough away that neither hydrant could reach this part of the building, the metal building with tile floors with a bunch of laundry equipment in it. Mm-hmm. Go figure. So anyway, you'll have cost overruns. Do your due diligence. Everything every other person says. Know your demographics. Know the competition. Like I said, I've got the map over there on the wall with a whole bunch of push pins on it that shows every laundromat in town. It's numbered. Everyone that's still viable. Black pins denote dead laundromats, ones that have closed. So there used to be one there. Now it's not. I've got some other indicators around town that I like to monitor. But that map and then the Excel spreadsheet that matches it is a result of knowing my competition and knowing all the other laundromats around. So just learn the business, join the CLA. Oh my gosh, huge amount of information. Join all the laundromat forums that are on Facebook. And if you do join those laundromat forums on Facebook, there's a search feature for every group. Search first before you ask. Yes, there is such a thing as a stupid question. A stupid question is one that was just answered and you were too lazy to go look it up. So, I know that sounds harsh, but you and I both know we see the same questions every freaking day.
Oh yeah.
Do some searching, do some Googling, or do some searching on that forum. Somebody's already asked that. Maybe it's a little bit different search term, but read that. I'm still learning stuff from people. I'm on all of them. I'm a lurker. I don't post a whole lot, but I read most all of them. Probably I spend way too much time on there reading, but that's how you learn too. So
that's it. Yeah. Awesome tips for pros. I will link to Facebook group there, Facebook groups on the show notes. So if you want to go join go click on those links and go join them. Yeah. Another segment that we have, I guess our last segment that we have, is called recommended resources. And that's, do you have any resources that you recommend to help us grow ourselves and or our businesses?
Okay. Well, I'm an avid reader, love to read. I'd already showed you the Ideal Team Player. I do happen to have some books that I would recommend that have helped a lot. So yeah, Ideal Team Player, already been there. It's Okay to Be the Boss.
Ooh, I haven't read that.
Bruce Tolgan. Step-by-step guide to becoming the manager your employees need. Your employees need direction. They want direction. It's like if you're a parent, you got kids, it's kind of like how to be a parent to to your employees.
I like that. Yeah.
We also on the forums, I think there was somebody posted the other day that his employees want things done a certain way. And, how do you handle that? And I'm like, well, you're the boss. You tell them how you're going to handle it. What's best for your business? You're the boss. Don't let them be telling you how to do things. You're the one, you learn the business. You tell them this is how we're going to do it because that's what's best for the business. Okay. So I'm still working on this one.
I love that book.
3/4 of the way through. Never split the difference.
Yeah.
Negotiate. Depends on it.
I heard that one like 3 times.
The one I meant to start off with, the Bible. Coin Laundries, The Road to Financial Independence. Emerson Higdon, an oldie but a goodie. It's hard to find. Can find it on Amazon, Goodwill stores. We have 2 copies. Steve marks up his copy. I mark up mine. But this was written, I think, the 1990s is the most recent. Oh, look, Steve's notes. He even stamped it with his engineering stamp. There you go.
Like, this one's mine.
This is his copy. Mine's buried back there, but his is easy to get to. This is a gold mine of information. This tells you exactly, just step by step, how to do stuff. Now, given we'll step back. I think it was written in the 90s. It was the latest update on it. Top loaders were prevalent. So
principles, not details.
Yeah. So the general gist of it, but keep in mind when it was written and how the equipments have changed. We went to HE machines, right? High efficiency, lower water usage machines.
Right.
So keep that in mind when it talks about assessing financials and sizing your water, stuff like that. But anyway, that is a gold mine as far as location and how to. So I don't know if you had that one or not. If you've ever.
No, I don't.
But, oh my gosh. Yeah, that one's amazing. 1-page marketing plan. If you're not really into marketing books, this is a summary of about 4 other really well-known marketing books. I actually listened to the audiobook and then I bought the paper copy so I could mark it up. So this is this is a summary of, and he actually talks about which books he's liberally taken ideas from, maybe. Awesome book. All right. Next up, a classic, E-Myth Revisited.
Love it.
How to work on your business, not in your business. Write down processes, create a team. Another classic, 7 Habits, Highly Effective People.
Love that book too.
Yeah, I struggle daily with putting everything into place that I read from novels. Love him or hate him, he did write the book. Trump, the deal.
I loved that book. I listened to the audio of that one, and I loved the book. Just the mind behind. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I did it before he was president, but
exactly. Yeah, whether you love
a good book.
Him, the guy has made several fortunes, so he knows what he's doing. Speaking of which, also, whether you like or hate Walmart, Walmart is not the Walmart it was back in Sam Walton's day, but Sam Walton's biography, Made in America, how he would go visit his stores just incognito, just dressed as Sam Walton, and go to his competitor stores and see what they're doing that's working for them and what's not working for them, and then incorporated that into the Walmart stores. Fun fact, early 90s, I think it was, I actually interviewed at the corporate headquarters in Bentonville for an IT position. And because my mom was still alive and lived back that direction. And I was thinking about moving back there from Wichita, but I decided against it. But it would have been a great opportunity. I decided that was not the right fit for me, the 45-hour standard work week and manager meetings mandatory on Saturday mornings. And I was like, even then, I wanted to work for myself. I don't want that much effort into making somebody else rich. So, and then Ray Kroc's book that he wrote himself, Grinding It Out, the movie The Founder that Michael Keaton was in is based off this book. There's another book that's about McDonald's. Whether you love or you hate their stuff, the business rocks. So there's another book about McDonald's business. I can't remember what it is, but it's over there on the shelf. But anyway, anything about their business models, Chick-fil-A, stuff like that. What are other people doing that works? Mm-hmm. What's making it work?
Yeah. And just
don't be Blockbuster, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Pay attention to the changes in the times.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will link to all of those books. So if you want to go check out one or all of those books, easy.
And
got another one.
American Coin Op magazine. It's free. Read it. Planet Laundry, the magazine for the Coin Laundry Association. So read that too. Okay, now.
Awesome. Well, that was probably the best recommended resources segment we've had. That was a lot of really good books, and that should keep you all busy for a long time. Reading. And
retain all that information. I've read most all of them all the way through. Some of them I'm still in the middle of, and then I got a bunch of other marketing books I'm working on. But as long as you get some nugget out of something somewhere, always be learning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say is you're not going to be able to do everything from all those books, right. But try to pick something and put it into, we talk about that all the time here, but put it into action because that's where you achieve your goals, right? It's the action. You can learn all you want. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you're not putting any of it into action and, building something with it, then it's not going to be any good. So put it into action. Last question I have for you before we wrap this thing up is if people are enthralled by your story, inspired by your perseverance, love your knowledge, want to benefit from your lessons that you ended up paying a lot of money for. What's the best way people can get in contact with you?
Email is probably the best. Sharon at thelaundrystationks.com, KS for Kansas. Or I'm on LinkedIn. Just shoot me a message over on LinkedIn.
And I will have both the email address and links to your LinkedIn and also links to your Laundromat website so people can check that out. And then also, if you're interested in checking out Sharon's Laundromat, she sent over some pictures. Those will be on the show notes page. So go check them out over there. Sharon, this has been incredible. I have pages and pages of notes that I've been taking this whole time. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience. Yeah. And thank you. I'm looking forward to
having me on. This has been a blast.
Oh man. Yes. And we'll have to do more stuff together because this has been a blast and you got a lot of wisdom to share. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. I hope you loved that interview with Sharon. So much good stuff. I wrote down so many notes. Hopefully you did too. Here's one thing that I'm taking away from this. And, I say this every time. All this stuff is great. Doesn't do you any good. Doesn't help you get any closer to achieving your goals unless you start to take action. So pick one thing, take action on it. Here's my thing that I want to take action on. I loved actually this quote that I wrote down that she said, when we get customers, we tend to keep them. And I love that quote. I wrote it down, like I said, and I think that perspective needs to be prevalent in everything that we do, right? Whatever our business is, whether it's, laundromats or whether it's being a landlord or whether that's owning Laundromat Resource, hey, once we have customers, let's do everything we can to keep them because, it's our business and we depend on our customers. So we want to make sure we're taking really good care of them. That they feel welcome, that they are getting value from us and that, we're serving them the way they deserve to be served. All right. So that was my takeaway. What's yours? Head over to the forums, laundromatresource.com/forums. Go share your one takeaway over there and say hi to James, our new community liaison for us. All right. Talk to you guys next week in the next episode of the Laundromat Resource Podcast. Peace.